Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of GetMyLending. You know, it's exciting to be able to do another episode. I'm here with my co-hosts and co-directors of Aaron, Ishac, Mina, Georgie. How we going, boys?
Good.
Good to be back.
It is, eh?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. We've
between
been
drinks.
busy.
Yeah.
We've
Flat
been
out.
busy.
Big end of financial year.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Mina? What's been your highlight?
Lots of cars at the end of financial year, so a lot of businesses doing lots of cars, trying to get
Yeah.
tax deductions. Lots of goals hit during the year.
What about you, Aaron?
I
I see you kicked it off really good with the flipping.
Yeah. A few more flip deals coming through, which is good.
Yeah.
I had a few clients sell some of their flips from months ago. A few more clients buying as well.
Yeah.
So that's picking up. A lot more people buying, renovating, selling.
Yeah.
A bit of a side business. A lot of Australians are getting into, and why not? Bit of asset.
The big test with those flips was the selling part.
Yeah.
And we've come through with that, which has been really good.
Well, buying is one thing. We help the client throughout the whole process, right? The buying process. But what we also help with is the selling process. And I'm always telling clients to give me updates, how it's tracking. Give me, every few weeks, let me know how it's going. And as we approach sort of towards the end of their lending term, hey, where are we at? We're ready to sell. Do we need an extension? Can I get it organized for you so we can sell? And so we ride the whole wave with them from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Were those the first few selling off now?
Yeah, I think we've sold about in the last few months we've done about 2 or 3 with another. I think 2 more to come this month. We bought a couple this month as well, so it's picking up. It definitely picking up, and people are seeing the value in it in the short term lending as well. They're seeing the value in it, and that it's a product made for that type of that type of project. Yeah.
Mina, what's the most rewarding deal you did in the last 12 months? I think I want to answer this one for you.
Go for it.
You did a loan for a personal friend of mine, which had about 5 splits in it,
Yes.
and he was complex. It was just
Yeah.
out of this world.
I know which one you're talking about. You had about 5 splits. You had almost $3 million worth of debt. You had bonus payments. We actually used future income for his borrowing capacity, so he hadn't even earned that bonus yet.
Yeah.
You had some properties that needed readjustment because council approvals. Probably took us a solid 3 months.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting structure.
It was a very interesting, and the funny thing is, he got declined by pretty much all the major banks.
Correct.
And this guy is a very savvy investor, and he knows policy. And the smart thing about him is that he knows how to ask you a question to get the answer that he wants.
Yeah, he definitely does.
And one thing I told Mina in the beginning, I go, do not answer any questions. Just take down everything and just let me do the first few conversations with him so I can massage you in, so to speak. But we got it over the line, which I didn't think we would have, but we did.
Yeah. Honestly, it was probably declined twice during the process.
Yeah.
It was quite...
Well, serviceability wasn't evident until right to the end.
Correct.
And the worst part about it was when the valuer shaved the rental income down even more because one of the properties was disregarded in the rent, which caused major issues. But we overcame it.
We had to do changes to properties, restructure properties completely, and how they're rented. Yeah.
See, that's the. I obviously wasn't around. Aware of this deal because I was, we're working on our own. But that's the value of a broker, I guess, to be able to pivot and move and adapt to those changes, like you said, changes in rental shading being declined by other banks. If you go directly to a bank and that happens, well, then see you later. Go to another one. Whereas if you go to a broker like this client did and worked with Mina, then obviously you're still up for a chance.
Look, I'm also thankful to our BDMs that are out there because without them, our business wouldn't be where it is. The support that they give us, the assistance they give is exceptional, and we definitely wouldn't be able to do the volume that we do without them.
100%, definitely.
I feel like you lean on the BDMs a lot, especially for the more complex deals, like that one. Like the one I
That
just
one
did
we
as
had
well,
two BDMs in on it.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
had two
Yeah.
BDMs and the head of credit sitting there going through it back and forth. Yeah.
Now, also, Mina, so you've been doing this now for 2 years.
Yeah.
And, when you first started, you were the cute little boy that's just...
Yeah, just finished school. Yeah.
How are you evolving into the business? How are you finding it?
I've started with more interesting structures working with you first.
Yeah.
I started with doing construction, commercial, self-employed a lot. I've switched it up a bit over the 2 years when I started writing my own deals to a lot of first-time buyers, a lot of a younger generation.
Yeah.
I would say the experience is very fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Seeing what these so-called teenagers or 20-year-olds are capable of doing. Seeing what's possible for us compared to us just looking at it, okay, we'll get property when we're 40 years old and, we've got to have a job, we've got to have a family, you've got 2 incomes. It's seeing what people are doing with a small income and a little bit of savings and a bit of discipline and a bit of financial education is quite impressive.
Yeah.
That's what I've been working a lot with. I've been working a lot with businesses as well, so asset finance. Been doing a lot of interesting machines, a lot of interesting tools, a lot of interesting trucks with stuff on the back of them.
Yeah. We call them cranes, Mina.
No, they're not cranes. They're literal. I've learned the construction industry more than the finance industry. Saying these trucks, there's some interesting tools on the back of stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen trucks with tools worth more than the truck on the back of the truck.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We actually did one last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the machine was, but it looked quite interesting. But it was
The indoor demolition stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally just like a sort of.
We'll call it a machine.
Yeah, it's a machine, but it literally looked like a tipper truck, and you would think it's a full-size tipper truck until you see a photo of someone sitting in it. It looks like a toy truck, those red and yellow trucks. Yeah. It looked exactly like that. It was quite small. It was for indoor demolition.
How do you, with clients like that, do they often come to you and say, oh, I'm talking to this lender or I'm getting offered this at whoever's selling the truck, the financing. Do you ever get that for that type of equipment?
Look, generally, because these machines that I've been seeing recently, those interesting ones that I've been doing, a lot of them are cheaper. And a lot of clients don't think that it's possible to get finance for them.
They're actually importing them from overseas as well. We're finding a lot more clients, are looking abroad for their machinery because it's cheaper, and they're importing them into Australia, and they're buying it that way.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of Chinese dealerships opening up ABNs here, opening up dealerships, getting licenses here, and then just selling the product straight out of China. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot cheaper. I think these were Chinese as well. It's a lot cheaper, and a lot of it is the builders don't think they can get finance for it because they're cheap. They're smaller tools, I guess you can call them, or smaller machineries. And a lot of them are they just think you can only get finance for a Toyota or a car until they actually speak to a broker. Like I've noticed a lot with these conversations that the first thing they say, can I even finance this? That's the first thing they mention, or should I just buy it cash?
Like we financed a 3D printing machine.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, we'll talk to the client and we'll package up what they want to what they want to finance. And then we'll go to the lender and present them with a scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Aaron? With the allied health and there's been a lot of noise. I know you've got a few of those clients over the line recently. So a few leads have been coming in and they have converted. So
yeah.
What's been happening?
Look, it's a long-term play. Social media. I'm more deeper on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Having a lot of conversations on LinkedIn, trying to push Instagram a bit more too. Because I find that, especially in the allied health space, there's a lot of them on LinkedIn, but they're very social on Instagram because their clients are on Instagram.
Yeah.
As an allied health professional, most of your clients will be on Instagram.
That's right.
So they're on Instagram. So I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm also pushing Instagram. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of private messaging going on. You know, I'm always having conversations with people.
Yeah.
You know, how can I help you in your business? If you need anything, let me know. And a lot of those have resulted in conversations in actually helping people start the process of purchasing a home or helping them if it's, you know, I get a few where they want, because a lot of them are self-employed.
Yeah.
So a lot of business financing, equipment financing, commercial car loans as well. You know, a lot of allied health professionals like physios, you know, podiatrists, they're mobile. So they're on the road seeing clients.
That's right.
So they need cars as well. Well, they need commercial finance. So having a lot of those conversations, which is really good, and trying to educate them a lot more. And I think they're starting to see that. There's not too many people in the finance space who, you know, can speak their language.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got that background in allied health, so I not only can understand their finances, but I can understand the reasoning behind their finances, where it comes from, how it works, how their industry works, how their role works.
Talk to us about the client that you recently settled that was buying and you refinanced. I think.
The exercise physiologist.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. So recently worked with an exercise physiologist who wanted to buy their second investment property. So already had their first, which was great.
And that was from the Wellness Wake Up.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So the wellness wake up.
Are they self-employed?
Self-employed, self-employed, which a lot of allied health professionals are. So what we needed to do is we needed to assist them in purchasing a second investment property, but also extracting equity out of their current investment property. So there was a lot to service for there.
Yeah.
So we needed to, you know, pinpoint them or find a lender where we could, you know, get the best bang for our buck in terms of serviceability. You know, a lot of people don't realize that when you do have investment properties, you've got rental income, a lot of lenders will only use a certain percentage of your rental income. So we have to factor that into play, you know, location and whatnot. So look, in a nutshell, basically we were able to refinance their current property and help them extract equity out of that and then use that equity to then put towards the purchase of their new investment.
Yeah.
So out of pocket, they didn't actually have to use much of their own, you know, savings. So they're still able to maintain what they've already saved up in their offset account.
Yeah.
And now we've got an allied health professional with 2 investment properties and counting.
You know, one thing that I have found to be an eye-opener, like I do a lot of construction lending. And going through my own construction loan has been quite a journey, especially, and I'm still at the beginning stages. So, you know, we went to life-size plans the other week where the plans were projected on a factory floor.
Did it fit?
Yeah, actually fit.
Oh, okay.
It actually fit. Well, they slide it to make sure that it fits.
Yeah.
And there were props there for us to move around, and we had our interior designer there, and our builder, and architect as well, which was great. It sort of put things in perspective. And there's one thing that you always gotta. Yeah, like it's hard to put yourself in the customer's shoes, but when you are the customer and you're going through it, it's a bit of an experience and a bit of an eye opener. And wow, what I know about construction now, reach out. If you need any tips, give me a call.
You've done a lot of construction for clients, but it's a lot different when you're going through it yourself. Eh?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it's relatable. Like we've all got our relatability to our clients. Like I obviously can relate from being a first home buyer, having an investment property, being an allied health professional. I mean, obviously you can relate to, you know, buying your first home and another home, and being young as well, you know.
And that's 2 in how long?
Probably within 3 months of each other.
Two within 3 months.
Yeah. And how
That's
old are
not bad.
20, see?
So what's your plan, Mina? What's your financial plan? Like two properties in 3 months. You know, you got a business that's growing.
Ideally, I want to do what I preach. I want to practice what I preach, and it's looking at taking out more equity from these properties. So I have bought. The first one I bought was probably a bit under market value. Second one's definitely a lot under market value.
Yep.
So ideally next year is go in, renovate them, and take out that equity and go again next year.
Okay.
So next year or this financial year's goals at least is to go buy another one or possibly
Okay.
two after renovating these.
Awesome.
See how much
Awesome.
equity I can get out of them.
Yeah.
Like, what would you recommend to people that are watching that are your age in terms of trying to do what you're doing?
Look, ideally sourcing them. I haven't worked with the buyer's agent, at least not yet. But with sourcing them, I'm always on realestate.com. Even if I'm not looking at buying, you gotta understand where the market's going.
You got to understand what you can do first. The biggest problem I find with young people is they don't take the first step.
Yeah.
Take the first step. Sit with your broker. Give Mina, Aaron, or myself a call. Sit with us. Let us educate you. Let us show you what you can do, and roadmap it. And when you roadmap it, you sort of know what you can do, and then that gives you a step. That then gives you the first opening. Rightio, what do I do now? I then pick an area. So I know how much I can borrow. Now I'll pick an area where I want to invest or buy or live, and then grow from there. But everyone's looking at property without knowing what they can afford. Like, how many people come to us go, I want to buy this property.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't afford it. you know what I mean?
Or even savings. Savings is a big thing. Like I would say a solid 40% of my applications that are successful was a client engaging with me a year before they actually went ahead. So a lot of them setting savings goals, knowing what income you need, where you need to buy, what rental you need to target. You've got to plan ahead. And I see you doing that a lot as well, Aaron, with all your flipping clients. They're always asking
Terms
you
and conditions.
terms and conditions.
Yeah, I'm always giving a lot
A
of
little
information.
bit about terms and conditions. Aaron is the type of person, especially with our flipping clients, he never gets sick of doing it, but you always go through each step. And you have no problem repeating yourself because you've taken it upon yourself to make sure that they understand what they're doing because it's the first time they've done it. And Mina and I just sit there and we just laugh whenever your phone rings. Terms and conditions.
Do you know what? I think it's important to just explain things at the start because, if something...
Right, you explain it at the start, in the middle,
Yeah,
at the end,
yeah.
and you go back to the...
Well, they have a lot of questions, and which is fair, especially the first timers. They do have a
Yeah.
lot of questions, especially with flipping because it's not like your standard home loan. So there's some differences in there which you need to kind of educate them on.
Yeah.
So it's important for them to have all the necessary resources and tools and understanding behind how it works before they proceed, because you don't want them to be like, oh, I didn't know this or I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Obviously there's things along the way that they'll ask as they proceed through the application process. But if you give them the foundation and give them the clear understanding of this is what it looks like, this is what you have to do, this is what you should expect, then it makes it a little bit easier for them to make a decision on what they're going to do and proceed forward.
And you find yourself, and you are right. Although we make fun of it, terms and conditions, it's actually because we say something to a client today, they come back tomorrow, they actually do ask the same question again. It's because their emotional state of mind when you're buying a property is in a different space to where our mind is at. We know it. Whereas them, they forget it's not that they forget what discussions they had the day before. It's that we got to remind them that, hey, you are walking the right path, or no, get back on that path. You are swaying this way or swaying that way. So I kind of understand why you're doing it.
Yeah.
We just find it amusing. That's all.
It's what, and sometimes you gotta have tough conversations with them too, but you'd rather have the tough conversations with them and be honest with them than, for something to kind of backfire or, something like that. Like one of my recent deals that I did, which was a 3 application deal, wasn't a flip deal, it was a normal deal. It was 3 deals. It was 2 refinances, one of own occ, one of a new investment property, and one purchase under a trust. So there was a lot to navigate, and fair to the clients, I had a lot of questions, which I was more than happy to answer. And they were great clients to work with, fantastic, very organized, very clear, very quick to respond. And they were in WA, so you're talking a couple of hours behind as well. So it was a lot to navigate. So the way structuring it was a somewhat of a complex structure, and this goes to show how important it is to utilize a broker, especially when it's complex, because there's a lot to navigate. So we basically linked all 3 deals together to settle simultaneously, and it allowed the clients to not only draw out equity from an existing investment property to put towards a purchase, it allowed them to put all their assets under one house, under one lender, get sharper rates because of it, sharper pricing, and also purchase under a trust structure as well. So obviously under a trust structure, it's a little bit different in terms of buying in your personal name. But we were able to find them a lender, and as you said before, massive credit go towards the BDMs involved and the credit team, who were just very, very supportive.
They were pretty good.
Yeah, because I was stressing over it. Yeah. It was a very, somewhat of a complex deal. There was a lot of moving parts, basically, that had to go right. And because it was all settling simultaneously, I was stressing out. I was constantly checking in. I had to check in not only with the incoming bank, but the outcoming lenders as well. Is everything?
I know you were calling me every second minute.
Yeah, I was calling you. I was speaking to all the banks. Hey, because you know what? Sometimes they say, yeah, it looks good, and then something will come up last minute. So I'm very proactive. Hey, how's it all looking? Is it all looking good from your end and your end? I'm talking to multiple solicitors and the clients, and I'm on the phone to the clients while they're at a bank branch trying to get documents signed, because when you've got guarantor documents, things have to be witnessed in person and all those kind of things. So I'm on the phone to them saying, yep, do this, do that, send me this, and constant communication back and forth. But amongst all the mayhem, when you take a step back and you just go, okay, this is what needs to be done, and you tick off things bit by bit.
That's right.
It seems clunky at first, but it's a very, very smooth process.
Yeah.
And now the clients have got, are expanding their portfolio for long term, for their family.
Exactly.
Which is why they bought under a trust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And new financial year, new goals. It's great to see we've got a few new people join the team as well. Forgot to mention that in the beginning.
We've got Jaden, who's joined us.
Yeah. We've got Moses, not the one that got the 10 Commandments. Moses as well.
He got 10 applications.
Well, talk to us about because you've been part of a few pilots of recent.
Yeah.
Especially with one of the lenders and also our aggregator. So how did you find, what happened there?
I was on one of the pilots for one of the lenders. I was on our main system as pilot as well.
How do you find that these are going to benefit our business and our clients in the future? What's changing? What?
So look, I'm very lucky to be on these pilots. These pilots are actually speeding up the process in approvals. They're speeding up the way we communicate with the bank and the way the bank communicates with us and even the client. I was trying to speak to the bank on these new pilots, and I was accidentally sending messages to the client while I'm speaking to the bank. They're a lot quicker. They're a lot quicker in communicating. They're good for verification as well and fraud prevention. So there's a lot of new stuff that they're bringing on to speed up the process for clients.
And this just gives us turnaround. Like some of these lenders were talking about approval in
hours,
like unconditional approval within hours.
Yeah.
And some of them are doing it, and we are getting some approvals come through.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. But to be this, for it to be first nature, when we do submit a deal, later on, it just goes to show where the market's going and where the demand is, and that's quicker turnaround times and quicker approvals.
Yeah, there's a lot of technology involved with them. You've got you've got computers reading documents instead and just giving summaries to the bank.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot quicker for approvals. Clients are loving them.
Yeah.
Clients are loving it. I got an approval the other day in 4 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours from submission to the bank.
Yeah.
People love speed.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
Quicker approvals, quicker commissions.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, it is an anxious process when you're buying a property. There's a lot of anxiety going on and you want to know the answer yes or no very quick. You don't want to wait 2 weeks to hear back from a bank to tell you, you know, oh, we need this.
Yeah. Well, that's true. It's frustrating for us, but it's also frustrating for clients when things are delayed.
Okay.
And that's why it's so important for us as brokers to have those relationships, not only externally with referrers and whatnot, but with the lenders themselves, to be able to get things done faster, to be able to escalate things where needed. You know, it's like, hey, I've been waiting on this for a few days. What's going on? Can you at least give me an update so I can pass that on to my client? Because I know for me, I don't like to keep my clients waiting for too long. If I haven't spoken to them in a day or two, I want to give them some type of update. Even if there's nothing to update them with, there's been no progress. Just say, hey, you know, currently just, you know, finding out this or chasing this up or escalating this, whatever it may be. But at least the client is aware, you know,
right.
and it's a bit like, I think it's a day and age we live in, you know, for example, with Uber, you know, knowing where the car is, right? People are happy to wait if they know what's going on. I think it's a similar thing in our industry as well.
Yeah. We'll put a tracker on our applications.
I actually thought about that.
Yeah.
That'd be so. You know how we get trackers for on our end for like deals, like to be able to have something like that for clients. You know, like a checklist or something, so they can track it.
God, yeah, no, that won't work with my clients.
Not your clients, maybe our clients. They'll still call you.
Yeah. They will.
What else have we got GetMyLending doing?
You know, we've got new things coming. Like our website is evolving. You know, there's going to be some educational pieces on the website, which we're working with our team very strongly with. Our branding is getting out there. You know, hopefully soon enough we'll all be, you know, operating quite well under the brand. We're going to have free download guides coming up on our thingo as well, on our website. So
Awesome. I heard Aaron's doing webinars as well.
webinars,
Yeah.
there'll be monthly webinars.
Yeah, webinars, especially for, you know, the allied health industry, first home buyers as well, which we'll might do together or separately because we both work with first home buyers. Just educating people. I'm going to try myself personally to be getting involved with more networking events, especially specifically around that health space and meeting people face to face, and maybe we'll put on some type of barbecue or lunch or something for people. And
Back to school is this financial year.
Yeah,
We're all
that's right.
going back to school.
We're all going back to school.
maybe we'll sponsor a team. Who knows? We'll see where we go. You know, but getting involved with the community more. You know.
Yeah, and that's something we definitely want to do. We want to give back to the community as well.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's important.
It's a circle, right? Like a lot of the community, a lot of Australians are self-employed.
Yeah.
You know, if it's, you know, all their kids play, you know, sports on the weekend. A lot of them have their own businesses, so it's good to just get amongst it, have those conversations, give back where we can, support where we can, and you know, I always say if we don't support one another, who will? So I think it's important to get involved.
My girls have got dancing on today at 4:00. Pick them up and can you drop them off and do all sorts of things.
I'll do my community outreach.
All right, so a few quick questions. Mina, biggest myth about mortgages?
Biggest myth about mortgages, that you need large deposits to get in.
True. Aaron, so tell me one way to cut bad spending habits.
One way to cut bad spending habits?
Still your nose.
I would say first identify it. However that works for you, whether it's actually tracking your expenses for a day or for a week, and actually writing it down, maybe using an Excel spreadsheet and actually, you know, jotting down what you spend, where you spend it, and then identifying where you can cut back if needed. Because it's not until you see it where you go, oh, well, I didn't realize I'm spending that much money on, you know, gaming or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's true.
Subscriptions,
Yeah. You answered this question already, Mina, because I was going to ask, do you need a perfect credit score and 20% deposit to get a loan?
No, you don't. So there's a lot of options in regards to credit scoring.
Yeah.
A lot of banks who are willing to look at you if you do have, you know, lots of inquiries, any bad repayment history, anything like that. In regards to the deposit, where you've got first home buyers, where you only need a 5% deposit, you've got LMI. LMI is quite a useful tool if you want to get in quick investments. You've got so many tools to get in there without a 20% deposit.
Yeah. which is great, isn't it?
All right. Question for Hany.
Talk to me.
What's the hardest convo you've had with one of your clients?
Oh God, I had one yesterday, and if you were probably listening in, it was like some people would have called it abuse, but sometimes you actually got to tell a client you can't afford it. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing. What you're thinking about is crazy, and that doesn't make sense. Yeah, and that was one conversation that I had with a client. I basically had to tell them, stop. You know, you've got enough assets. You just need to slow down.
Yeah.
Get comfortable in your surroundings. You know, we've had some great wins. Just sit there. And we ended the conversation that, you know, he's going to call me in 6 weeks' time with another property that he wants to buy. But I will have that conversation with him again. Stop. You know, he's in a situation where his business is growing. And he does have a lot of cash reserves laying around. But, you know, when a business matures so quickly, you know, what goes up must come back down.
Yeah.
And when it goes up so quickly, you know, clients get excited about that growth. I don't realise that it is going to slow down. And I'm just trying to get him to sort of slow down at a steady pace.
Yeah.
So when his business does come down a little bit, he can still afford what he's got.
Have you ever had to tell someone they have to sell their property to keep their finance boat afloat, I guess?
Oh, yeah, I have, yeah. And it's worked and it hasn't worked. You know, there was one client, he took my advice and sold that property, and there was another client that didn't take my advice and their property did get repossessed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You just got to sort of understand, and you got to make your clients aware of what the boundaries are.
Yeah.
And when you've got clients in business, that wave goes up and down so quickly. You know, one day it could be calm waters, you know, in the Maldives. The next day it could be a tsunami off Japan somewhere. You know what I mean? So you just got to sort of understand their business and understand where things are at, and just wave the white flag when you need to.
It's hard to have those difficult conversations.
That's where I always say that, you know, like, you got to leave emotion at the door.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be emotional about every transaction. With mum and dad transactions, you can. But when it comes to, you know, our business clients, you can't. You know, you just got to be blunt.
Yeah.
Blunt is the perfect way to describe it.
I had to learn that, eh?
You had to learn that.
I had to have a very, very difficult conversation, but it was a conversation that needed to be had, you know, with a client. And you know,
one thing I've got to say is that when you did have that conversation, you looked at me, you go, it wasn't as hard as what I expected it to be.
It felt good.
But it was a commercial conversation that he had.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a personal conversation. And that's one thing you got to be prepared to do.
You got to have those conversations. Yeah. You'd rather have the harsh conversations early than let it linger and go far beyond where it needs to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And then the client can do whatever they like with the opinion or recommendation that you give them at the end of the day.
Like one client yesterday, I rang him. I said, get your head out of the sand. He goes, what do you mean? I go, the bank is calling your lawyer and you're not returning calls. I go, when are you going to go sign your paperwork? The bank isn't going to wait much longer. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm busy. I go, oh, stop. What was that? He said, I'm busy. I go, no, you're not. I go, your loan docs expire by the end of this week. You're not busy. Drop what you're doing. I don't care if the house is going to fall. Go sign your contracts and give me a call and tell me once they're done.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to give them a bit of a kick up the bum.
Yeah. But these are all commercial clients that just don't have the luxury of time.
Yeah.
So sometimes we actually have to be like their personal assistant when it comes to their financial documents being executed in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, guys. It's a new financial year, goals. We've got a few new people. I think we're just definitely going to make a bit of a mark this financial year.
Definitely.
I'm very excited to see what technology the banks are pulling out with the AI and speeding up the process.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see how my clients develop, buy more properties, build up their portfolios. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah. Technology is a big conversation, and I'm a big fan of technology and utilizing it as much as possible. But I think a message that I want to get across to people is you don't need to be perfect or wait for the perfect time to get started. You just got to be committed, and you just got to be a little bit curious, and have a conversation with a broker and get the ball rolling. I speak to clients all the time and go, I'm not ready to buy for 12 months. It's like, well, let's have a look at it. Maybe you're 6 months away.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's get things in place now.
Let's get things in place.
And then if you are 12 months away, that way we can plan it out and review.
Yeah. And rates are at a reasonable level right now, and they're not going up.
Yeah.
And we are seeing fixed rates in the fours at the moment as well.
Yeah.
So definitely it's the perfect time to be in the market, to be able to jump on that wave when the rates hit a good at a good level for you to be able to fix and plan your future for the next 3 to 5 years. I think it's an awesome time to jump on that in that space.
Yeah. But have those conversations first.
Definitely
Speak to the
have
right
those
people.
conversations.
Including a broker.
Come back to school.
Come back to school.
Come back to school, get educated.
All right, that's a wrap for another episode of Get My Lending.